Hello, my friends, and a very happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America, 250. Rusty with you live here on this 4th of July Saturday, what is becoming a very stormy afternoon across Central Florida. Want to come on and track what's happening right now, get you prepared for the rest of the afternoon hours. Obviously today, a lot of folks want to be out and about and enjoying the outdoors. We've got a lot of fireworks displays. We've got the pools and the barbecues and everything else. And these storms are going to have some impacts to that. As we get started, CFLW is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys, offering free consultation and policy reviews. They will walk you through that insurance claim process. You can check them out by going to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. Storms are developing right now, kind of in two different waves. The first chunk that has had some special weather statements has mainly been up in Marion and northern Lake counties and now moving into interior Flagler and Volusia. A second batch of storms is moving through Lake County and into the western sides of Orange County with additional scattered showers around this. Look, the big thing about today is that these storms are going to be prolific lightning producers, and so you just have to get inside and let these storms move by. I know we want to be out, we want to get the grilling in, we want to play around with the kids and head to the water parks and be in the pool, but we have to respect these storms. Right now, you can see on the middle side of your screen, Winter Garden, the thunderstorm moving into the western sides of Orange County as we speak. Again, big time lightning, nearly 500 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. Head into Winter Garden, Oakland, Hamlin, back west on 50 towards Claremont, Mineola, Groveland, Mascot, down 27. It's not a special weather statement storm, not a ton of strong winds except for the initial gust front, but these storms are beginning to line up right now, and they are getting back down to the attractions. Again, another bad spot here as far as thunderstorms go for today. We don't want a lot of nasty storms moving across the attractions, but we're getting that right now. Live look to our Lake Buena Vista camera. Again, this is just 1 mile from the Magic Kingdom. That thunderstorm is creeping in on that area, and it is going to continue to have some impacts in these spots. So please keep that in mind. Again, thunderstorms are likely to be fairly prolific here for the next couple of hours, and the breezes will pick up ahead of that. Now, again, today it's marginal as to whether we're going to get any severe storms. Absolutely a possibility. The main threat's going to be winds of 60 miles an hour. Watch out for some smaller coin-sized hail. But the big story today is going to be the frequent lightning. So this is a massive storm, and it's a noisy storm moving into Metro Orlando. Other clusters of thunderstorms right now are up in portions of Volusia County. We do have one special weather statement on the tail end of this cell. It's just to the east of I-4 and Lake Helen, moving slightly west. And really what it's doing more than anything is it's just beginning to develop. Now, look, even though this is telling you the movement is west, it's just based on the latest kind of growth, if you will, to the west. I'm telling you right now, all of your storm motion today is west to east. So we're going to see these storms develop inland and work their way off towards the east coast. And that's been the case the entire day. Thunderstorms had developed along the west coast earlier today, even in the late morning hours, and have just continued to march their way east. Again, it's not one solid line, right? You've got more east push already up in our northern areas and still some back-building storms even back to Tampa and St. Pete, but not as prolific. Sorry about that, zoomed a little bit too much here. Another special weather statement up in Putnam County as well. Again, that one does have that easterly motion. Pomona Park, one of the areas that'll be impacted, but down the road, we will see some healthy thunderstorms along the coast. Of course, that's a big problem on July 4th as well. We know, especially the Volusia County coastline is absolutely packed right now, but Flagler County, Flagler Beach, Beverly Beach, about the same situation down to Brevard County. Look, if you know anyone who's at the area beaches, let them know that these storms are moving their way. Again, movement is west to east. They're going to have to turn their heads, look back inland to see these storms coming their way through. You can see the sea breeze. The East Coast sea breeze has nudged its way just to the west of I-95. So we're still going to have, in the next couple of hours, an even stronger sea breeze interaction somewhere along or maybe just east of I-4. And so these storms are likely to pulse up a bit in intensity, and then slow erratic movement could actually produce some heavier rain once we get the true sea breeze interaction. But again, if you live on the western side of the Orlando metro area, here's a live look to what's happening in that area right now from our Winter Garden camera. and you can see the gray sky. Again, noisy storms, prolific lightning producers. When thunder roars, you head indoors. Please respect these storms. They're not going to be here forever today, right? They're not going to sit here and impact most of our fireworks plans. I want to be clear about that. But for the afternoon hours, they're going to be widespread. They're going to produce a lot of lightning. We got to let them roll past the area and dissipate before we really want to get back outside. Now, again, farther west that you live, the earlier the clearing will be. I-4 corridor, including Orlando, likely to see clearing before the sunset hour and the fireworks displays. It is the East Coast where a few storms could linger right around sunset or just beyond. That could still have some impacts there, but hopefully they're all out of the way. But again, these are nasty storms right now across our area. Switch over to our quad box. A lot of cameras to show you guys. Top left-hand side of your screen is our Conway cam. The southeast side of Orlando, we've got Winter Garden, we've got Lake Buena Vista. A couple of our other cameras that we had are back up and running right now. This is going to be from Sand Lake. So the southern side of Metro Orlando, looking south and west. We are looking at the thunderstorm that is moving through Lake Buena Vista right now. It's a nasty shelf cloud. iDrive, again, Epic, Universal, SeaWorld, Epcot, Disney, all impacted by these clusters of storms. So that is our camera looking south and west from the Sand Lake area. And then we have what we call our Epic Cam, and this camera is actually pointed at Epic Universe, if you guys know where the new Universal shot is. So we have two cameras close to each other, but just pointing in different directions to give you guys good perspective here. So we're covering the southern sides of Metro Orlando with this, and when can we combine it with our Lake Buena Vista camera, we'll really have the attractions area covered quite heartily. Quite hearty. How's that sound? You would think maybe I had an adult beverage, but all I've done is actually grill today so far. I told my family, I said, look, you got a choice. We can either grill at noon or we can grill at 8 o'clock. And they said, we want lunch. And I said, I don't blame you. Let me jump into the chat. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hey, Starman, how you doing? Hi, Therese. Happy 250th indeed. Thunder and Kissimmee. Hey, Chicken Nugget, how you doing? Zigzag, how you doing? Threatening storms here in southeast Palm Bay. I'm on, regardless of the holiday. I've got you guys covered. A lot of different ways we can do that. Hey, Alex, rumbling pretty heavily in Palm Coast. Power keeps flickering. Interesting, because the storms there are likely going to get worse. So if there's already been some power issues there, that's not a great situation if you've already seen a little bit of power flickering there. Hey, Blue Goose, good afternoon to you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well up in St. Augustine. Yeah, everything's moving west to east for today. Starman says we've got some good thunder in Leesburg. Kermit, absolutely, Deltona could get smacked. Everything is still developing generally west of you, and they're coming through. You'll probably hear the thunder on my microphone as these storms move across the Metro Orlando area. Again, a lot of lightning. A lot of juice in the atmosphere. It just is what it is. It's very typical, if you will, for early July. I'm not expecting any truly organized severe weather. It doesn't mean we're not going to pop off a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, winds of 60 miles an hour, especially as the sea breeze collision occurs a little bit later, and that'll generally be just along I-4 slightly off to the east. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the West Coast sea breeze actually slam into the East Coast sea breeze as of now. These are just all healthy thunderstorms that have been rolling inland with the West Coast sea breeze all morning long and into the afternoon hours. So we're likely to see a pulsing of some of this activity. We do have a new special weather statement that's kind of going to combine, if you will. We had a couple to our north, to our south. So now the Weather Service offices have just made this entire line special weather statements. I mean, all the way from the Interlochen area, kind of like Hawthorne area east, all the way back down into central Volusia County. You've got 5 different special weather statements, all with winds of 50 miles an hour. Some of the southern flank into Volusia County would include some pea-sized hail, so the quarter-inch size hail. DeLand, DeLeon Springs, again, ton of lightning, massive amounts of lightning. What do we got here? Over 580 lightning strikes. That storm again, and it's interesting, the Weather Service did put a southwest motion on that one. And the reason why is that storm is coming off of the East Coast sea breeze. So here's a problem right now. These two cells are going to slam into each other. That's your first sea breeze collision that we're going to be watching. So it wasn't a misnomer that this cell was actually pushing to the west. All of this line is coming along with the West Coast sea breeze. The East Coast sea breeze has mainly been penned along the coast, but it's just beginning to move in right now. And so in between the two, you're going to get this collision. So I would expect right in here, DeLand, Orange City, Deltona, that collision is going to produce storms, and some of those storms could actually even build down south towards Sanford. So this could be an area where we see that first true collision, where we will see storms slow up in motion, where the winds could be strong and erratic, and because of the slow movement of the storms, could produce some extremely locally heavy rainfall as well. Hey, Chessie, good afternoon to you. 2/200ths of an inch in Spring Hill. At least it's not anything or nothing, but again, you know, your activity is going to be much more minimal along the west coast for today. The prevailing winds are out of the west, so storm movement is west to east for anyone who wants to see that. I'll put this into motion over the last half hour. There is some decent forward speed with these storms. Again, it's a general east push. Some of the storms might be pushing individual cells north of east. And again, right along the coast, look at your green lines. That's your sea breeze coming in from the east. So now we're going to start to see the sea breeze collision here. And I think that first collision is likely to happen in interior portions of Volusia County. The storm is, again, nasty right now in Winter Garden. Let's take a look to some of your cameras that we have here live for you guys. Again, want to keep you up to date with that. This is the good thunderstorm moving through Lake Buena Vista right now. So again, the attraction's getting smacked. Healthy storm, a lot of lightning, gusty winds. Get indoors, let this pass you by. It's not an all-day rain, it's not an all-day event, but you can clearly see there's sheets of rain coming down with this. So, you know, sideways kind of rain. Winds are probably blowing 30 to 40 miles an hour. And again, the opportunity here to produce some, you know, fast-moving, impactful storms, with the lightning being the main threat right now. With a storm like this in Lake Buena Vista, it's moving fast enough. I'm not too concerned about flooding. There's prolific rainfall with this. It's coming down in buckets right now, but it also has some decent forward speed. I'm more concerned about areas a little bit more off to the east, where the East Coast sea breeze is going to slam into some of these storms, and then the storm motion is just going to put on the brakes. And that's where we could see pockets of 2, 3, even 4 inches of rain. Still more localized flooding than anything, but you get the idea that those storms are going to cause some havoc. And again, it's 4th of July. We don't want to be indoors, unless we like the AC, which I don't mind in the mid-afternoon here. But we want to get these storms in and out of the way before the fireworks displays, and hopefully we will. Live look outside of Winter Garden. Hey, homie, how you doing? Happy 4th to you. Hey, Brent's World, how you doing? Winter Springs definitely going to be impacted by these storms as well. Rumbling here in the Magic Kingdom, says Brian. Lois is in New Smyrna with clouds and no rain. Hey, Dolores, happy 4th from Tampa area. Some clouds, but mostly some heat. Hey, Bobby, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Happy 4th to you. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Michael, how you doing? Thank you for being a member. Any chance for rain in Tampa? Michael, not much, my friend. You have likely seen your best chance for rain already. The storms have been pushing from west to east. There could be a little bit of redevelopment later today, but more than likely, the storms have pushed by. Again, an isolated storm chance, Tampa, St. Pete, the remainder of the afternoon hours, but that is the driest part. That is a nasty looking shelf cloud right now down in the Sand Lake area, southern side of Metro Orlando. So we're basically looking at the storm that's moving through Lake Buena Vista right now from a different perspective. We're farther east. We're looking back south and west, so we're looking right back into that storm from that camera. Okay. Couple of different views we can bring you guys as well. Again, we're bringing you guys a lot of new technology and things like that. So when I've been able to switch it, I can put one of the big cameras important kind of in the main box, and then you can see others here, including myself, and we can track some things together. And in this view right here, I'll make sure that I zoom in really tight on the radar so you guys can see that as well. So again, right now we're tracking some healthy thunderstorms moving through the west side of Orange County. Trying to creep towards Altamont Springs, but mainly right now, Ocoee, Winter Garden, Hamlet, back down towards Lake Buena Vista. Storms have developed as far south as the northern sides of Osceola County. So Kissimmee is getting in on this act celebration. I-4 is going to get snarled up again as well near Champions Gate. Claremont still seeing some showers and storms. A new special weather statement is now in effect for the northern sides of Lake County. This is going to include the Leesburg area for winds of 50 miles an hour. Again, movement there is east at 6. Leesburg, Lady Lake, Lake Griffin, Lisbon, and Fruitland Park included within that storm. Tracking that out for you guys. Again, the opportunity here to see some 50-mile-an-hour winds. Bassville Park, Tavares, potentially down the road as well. This is going to be the actual bulletin for the National Weather Service office. Strong thunderstorm impacting western Lake County through 4:30. Winds of 50. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. The areas that I've already mentioned. Again, no hail, at least at this point in time, out of this particular cell. Storms are developing back down into portions of Polk County. And then some really clustered storms, Volusia County up to the north. Let's go back here. And I want to keep an eye on our Epic cams as well. All right, back over to our Sand Lake cam. Again, that storm is producing some extremely heavy rainfall, and that camera is going to get smacked. So again, that's what's right now down in Disney Springs, the Magic Kingdom, Epcot areas, working east, headed towards places like Epic, Volcano Bay, and the general kind of east of I-4 corridor as well. So that storm is what's moving through right now. Well, let's talk about what's happening up in Volusia County. If you guys are just tuning in now, again, special weather statements. These storms are actually a little bit stronger at this point in time. Again, sea breeze interaction likely to occur right over I-4 between Deltona, Orange City, DeLand, simply because this storm is pushing south and west. This line is moving off to the east. The storms that are over the DeLand area right now are barely developing, drifting, slow east movement. I know it says southwest, but again, it's trying to push east. I promise you that. DeLand, De Leon Springs, DeLand Airport, and West DeLand. Look at the lightning count. Again, nearly 1,000 lightning strikes in this view in the last 15 minutes. These storms are prolific lightning producers. Please respect them. I know it's the 4th. I know we want to be outside celebrating America, doing what we like to do, grilling out, enjoying the pool, enjoying the beaches, lighting off some fireworks, but we got to let these storms pass by first. The storms up in the Crescent City area. This one has much more forward speed right now, northeast at 24. This is the storm that's headed into Flagler County, including Palm Coast and Flagler Beach. Bunnell, of course, included in that, being a little bit more inland as well. Again, one more special weather statement up here, but these storms are all going to try and make a run to the coast, certainly as far north as the St. Augustine area. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing? Port St. Lucie has some storms. Palm Bay Jags fan, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Raining with thunder now. Appreciate that. Tim reports showing rain and winds of 5 to 10 in Legoland. Okay, Tim, thank you. Jody says, hey, Rusty, getting really dark here in Orlando. And happy 4th. So again, from the chat, Jody saying, hey, Rusty, getting really dark here in Orlando. Thunder, happy 4th of July from the Chanel family. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Is it Chanut? I'm going to go with Chanut. But thank you very much, Jody, and I hope you're doing well. Appreciate all of the well wishes. Again, Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Hope everyone's doing well. You got a question about the forecast, you could drop it below. What I really want to hear from is you guys as to what's been happening in your area. I mean, obviously these storms are impacting us right now. You guys are tuning in because of that. Live look outside right now to the Sand Lake area. Again, we have 2 cameras in this area. This camera is looking off to the south and to the east, excuse me, south and west. So it's looking at the storm coming from Lake Buena Vista as we speak. Then we have another one that we call the Epic Cam, because this one's actually pointed at Epic Universe, and there's that shelf cloud. It's just from a little bit different perspective. South and east means the camera is looking south and east. So we're catching this kind of just moving through right now. Again, if you're in the southern sides of the Metro Orlando area, this is what you would be seeing right now. Hey, Amy, good to see you as well. All right, appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're here, thanks for taking a quick second, hitting the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, again, it's a live-only channel covering severe weather or impactful storms in Central Florida when they occur. It is our 4th of July, and storms are developing and moving through our area right now. Really, really intense as far as the lightning goes. They're going to be marginally severe for today, but it is the lightning, it is the gusty winds, and it's the extremely heavy rainfall that could be produced out of this, in coordination with the fact that it's our 4th of July afternoon, that's going to be causing some problems across some of our area. Again, the farther west that you live, storms have kind of moved through your area already. Not going to rule out some redevelopment, and you can see a little cell up here just north of Inverness in the Citrus County, kind of southwest Marion County border up towards Hernando and Denellen. That has redeveloped a little bit towards Bellevue. And then there is a special weather statement as far west as Leesburg. But you get towards US 19 and your storm chance is relatively low compared to everyone else. If you live in Metro Orlando, look off towards the west. This is what's coming your way. Again, it is non-severe, but it is a wide cluster of storms with dark low bases, some very heavy rainfall, and extremely prolific lightning at this point in time. In the Metro Orlando area, in the last 15 minutes, we've had more than 300 lightning strikes. It's a lot of lightning. There's even more lightning up into Volusia County right now. You can see the lightning count going up there. So they have had, in the last view as well, nearly 700 lightning strikes. So more than double the amount of lightning in Volusia County compared to the Orlando metro area. And right now, places like De Leon Springs and DeLand getting absolutely hammered. Could even see some smaller sized hail. And if you catch some pea-sized hail out of that, let me know in the comments section below. Special weather statement continues for the interior sections of Flagler County, over the Crescent City area, moving off to the north and to the east. This is going to make a run to I-95 fairly quickly. You live in Palm Coast, Beverly Beach, Flagler Beach as well. Again, get prepared for that to be moving through in short order. 410 right now. That'll certainly be to the coast well before 5 o'clock. Get our live cameras for you guys. Right now on the left-hand side of your screen, top is going to be Lake Buena Vista. We've got Winter Garden. We've got Sand Lake. We have our Conway cam. And the southeast side of Orlando, that one right now is relatively quiet. Probably will catch some lightning strikes from Winter Garden. Again, if you guys are unfamiliar, that's the west side of the metro area. And you'll see those thunderstorms moving through. KT Joe Nitz says, thanks for sacrificing your holiday to take care of us. We appreciate you. Well, thank you very much for that. Not sacrificing. I do appreciate that sentiment. I mean, again, I told my family a little bit earlier, I said, we're either grilling out at noon or 8 o'clock. It's your choice. And well, we had, instead of late afternoon hot dogs, we had some lunchtime hot dogs. But I do appreciate that. I heard some chatter, by the way, when I was looking at the chat about the ads. Of course, you're going to see some ads on this channel. It's one of the ways that we generate revenue, guys. If we don't show ads, I'm not going to be on. I mean, this channel, desperately needs to continue to produce additional revenue. So I hope you guys aren't using ad blockers, and I hope you guys don't mind watching these ads, because it's the only way that I'll be able to stay on. It's part of the business of the channel. Other ways to support the channel, of course, you can become a member of the channel. You'll see the members in green. That's one way to support the channel as well. And if you want to sponsor the channel, like the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida does, you can scan that QR code on the top left-hand side of your screen. If you want to sponsor a camera or sponsor other aspects of the channel itself, drop me an email there and we can chat. But I do appreciate all that support. And of course, look, the channel is always going to be free, right? You can always watch whenever you want to. You have to watch some ads from time to time. That's just the nature of the beast. Not Mr. Beast, but the nature of the beast. But again, liking and subscribing also helps out our viewership. And so thank you very much for that as well. All right, good to see everyone. Let me jump back into the chat. Thanks, Noble Pills. Hope you're doing well. Kyle says, happy 4th of July, Rusty. Thank you for taking the time to guard Central Florida. My pleasure, Kyle. Good to see you as well. Marilyn says, just heard the first rumble near Conway. So storms beginning to move towards our Conway cam as well. Linda is in the house from Mico, saying hi, cloudy in Mico. Thank you. Michael's got some thunder and light rain in southeast Palm Bay. Now, if you do, just to reiterate this fact, if you do buy because Ed was mentioning the $9 per month for the adless YouTube, creators do get a piece of that. So that's fine. But if you want to have, like, through the YouTube app, have the adless experience and you pay extra for it, they do share that with creators, whoever you watch, not just me, obviously, but whoever you watch, they get shared revenue from that. So that's a fine way to do it as well. And I don't blame anyone who would want to make that choice. All right. Once again, thunderstorms right now moving through Metro Orlando. Just about when we would expect this time of the year, right? It's a July afternoon. It's hot. It's humid. Sea breezes are active. There's a ton of lightning with these storms. That's my biggest concern right now. I'm not expecting these storms to ramp up, at least in the short term, and become severe, meaning that winds are over 60 miles an hour and or inch-size hail. Where that might happen is as the East Coast sea breeze, which you can see on that green line on your map, begins to march further inland and starts to interact with this activity, then we could start to have two things happen. One, as these storms begin to interact like they're about ready to do across I-4 in Volusia County, the storms will produce stronger winds, erratic winds, and then the storm movement will go kaput. And now you could have widespread heavy rain over a very narrow area here, where we could have some isolated flash flooding. So as the sea breezes collide, they're just going to produce extra problems. They're going to produce stronger winds, more lightning, and storms that don't move very quickly, which could lead to some localized flooding in some spots. It's an issue for some of the area here. Good storm with a lot of lightning in interior Flagler County, across 11, headed up to Bunnell. If you live in Beverly Beach, Flagler Beach, or Palm Coast, this is what's headed your way. Let me do a storm track on this one for you guys. All right, let me reset it real quick. Stand by, gonna do my little trick here. I should probably come up with a tighter view. See it pops on right there. Every so often, this thing, when I put the next red sights into motion, it doesn't like it very much. All right, so let's track this out. This one is moving more than 20. So looking at the times of arrival from this storm, which is actually one of the strongest in our area right now, going to run over Bunnell in about 5 or 6 minutes, Flagler Beach at 4:36, Beverly Beach 4:41, Palm Coast 4:43. Obviously, a lot of folks along the Flagler County coast enjoying the holidays, Gulf, Palm Coast, beautiful area. Just make sure, if you know anyone who does live in this area or who is at the beaches, that they're aware of what's coming. Again, the storms aren't moving from the coast inland. They're moving from inland areas to the coast. So they really have to pay attention swing their heads around from watching the beach and the beautiful coastline and look back inland and see the absolutely dark skies that are out there right now. But that is what's headed your way there. And it's going to be the same situation through the northern sides of Flagler County. This storm, once it picks up some speed, I'll track it for you guys, but it's getting into Ormond Beach and Daytona Beach, Port Orange, and Ponce Inlet. Scattered showers are trying to develop along and behind the boundary. You can even see there's some pretty gusty winds to the east of the actual boundary, and here comes another merger of our sea breezes right here, the outflow from the storms in the east side of Osceola County, the East Coast sea breeze. So likely another intersection right there. Western sides of Indian River County, southern sides of Brevard County, a couple of light showers, rumble of thunder there. Let's track this storm up in the Leesburg area. Again, special weather statement here for the next 12 minutes. It's not a fast mover. It's only east at 6. So we're not expecting this to really move very quickly. I'm just going to draw it from the area of heaviest rain and then off towards the east. Probably only Bassville Park's in this spot right now. So Bassville Park 444, 441, 27. Lady Lake's getting some storms. Fruitland Park, Leesburg, east on 441 towards Bassville Park. If it holds together, you live in Tavares, you live in Eustis, this could be headed your way again. Special weather statement with winds potentially up to 50 miles an hour. Question was about Belle Isle. Right here, the Pine Castle Sky Lake area. I will say this, if you live anywhere in the Metro Orlando area, and I'm talking about from, Winter Springs, Altamont Springs, all the way back down to Lake Nona and Celebration and Four Corners, we're all in about the same boat. These storms are kind of congested up right now. They're producing some locally heavy downpours, a lot of cloud to ground lightning, and some gusty winds. And again, the biggest reason that I'm concerned about these storms is just simply the fact that it is going to be, the 4th of July afternoon. And so you see the storm out of Lake Buena Vista over Sand Lake. Now we're just completely overcast. Now we've got the lightning moving through. So we have to respect these storms, my friends. We have to let these storms move by wherever you might be located. Once they move past your area, likely things will improve. I'm not going to say that skies are going to turn back to sunny right away. We could be stuck with some relatively overcast skies as we push towards sunset. So unfortunately for some of the fireworks displays, despite the fact that some of the storms might be out of the area, I can't guarantee you that we're going to get a lot of clear skies early on. Now looking on the same view as far as that storm, but from the southeast side, looking south and east from Sand Lake, again, you can see that storm moving through the southern sides of Metro Orlando with the low base clouds. And again, just some impactful weather across your area here on this mid to late July 4th afternoon. So we'll have to let these storms move west to east, and then behind that, we'll clear out a bit. Of course, what that does mean, right, and we talked about this, what that does mean is the farther east that you live, getting closer to the East Coast, some of the showers and storms could linger closer to sunset. I'm still optimistic for the most part that all of this activity is done by the time we get to sunset and get ready for the fireworks. But before that, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. I-4 east, more clearing farther west that you go. Amy says winds are picking up pretty good right now in the Metro West area. Oh, I see it's over my face, but who cares? Kyle asked, that means the Villages is next. Is that correct? Kyle, the Villages is likely to see a few storms develop between Bellevue and where Leesburg is right now. That line is kind of beginning to merge up just a little bit. I don't think it's going to be too strong. The biggest part of that cell is just south of the Villages area and is likely to move off to the east. But obviously the Villages is another area where we continue to obviously have a lot of folks outside. A A lot of times I talk about some of the hot spots, folks being outdoors. Today it's everywhere, right? Everyone has plans to be outside. I don't know anyone who doesn't have plans to be outside. So I get the situation. Unfortunately, the sea breeze is active and the storms are just widespread at this point in time, right? By the way, America, happy 250th, happy 4th of July. I hope you and your family are doing well. What a great celebration for today. You know, what a fun day, right? And I hope that you guys have some fun. We'll get through these storms and we'll enjoy things all together here as Americans a little bit later on today. But happy to be with you guys, and I hope you're doing really well. Thanks for taking part of your holiday and tuning into the channel. I do appreciate that as well. Hey, Charles, how you doing, my friend? Happy Independence Day. Charles, who lives in, I believe, the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. And great to see you again, my friend, and thank you for the well wishes. Yeah, Frogs, Melbourne is likely to see storms later into the day. You could catch a couple behind the actual sea breeze moving in right now, but you'll have to watch for this activity coming out of I-4 and how that could impact your area a little bit down the road. In a general sense, storms are likely to back build toward the east or continue moving off to the east. So even if you catch an isolated shower or storm now, the bulk of the activity is still likely to not impact especially southern coastal areas like Brevard County until much deeper into the afternoon hours, if not even the early evening hours. It is portions of Brevard County that I would expect to see some of the storms linger the deepest tonight. Southern Osceola and Polk County and Indian River County will be included in that, kind of the southeast areas for the most part. Question about Sarasota. Again, in general, you live along the West Coast, you're looking pretty good. Not a lot is likely to redevelop out west. An isolated storm, possible. Always be mindful of that when you're outside. Again, when thunder roars, you head indoors. But the West Coast sea breeze is well inland. There's not much in the way of instability behind it to produce anything more than a rogue shower or storm. So again, in a general sense, we're clearing from west to east the remainder of the day. Let me show you guys the loop of this. I'm going to do it this way this time. So here's the loop of the activity over the last couple of hours. Again, clear east push to all the activity. Early today, even before lunchtime, we had a few showers and isolated storms develop along the West Coast. But through the early afternoon hours, it was, East Citrus and Hernando and Pasco and Hillsborough that has moved into Marion and Lake and Sumter and Polk. There's been more of a push east quicker the farther north that we are right now. And that's actually where the strongest storms are at this point in time. And they're basically lining up down the I-4 corridor. The East Coast sea breeze has moved inland and a few showers have developed behind it, but those are not as concentrated as other areas at this point in time. So again, all this activity west to east for the most part here. Hey, XRP Pullman, how you doing? You're welcome. Got some SLCs? We got some scary looking clouds, huh? Okay. Hey, Troy, how you doing? In South Daytona, we are just on the edge, not much rain yet. Keep me apprised, Troy. That is likely to change. That is likely to change. All right. Speaking of cameras and keeping an eye on things, let us go back to our camera network, checking back in from the Sand Lake area. Again, southwest, looking south and west here from Sand Lake, the overcast skies. Probably from time to time you see a little stroke of lightning. You might see the camera jitter a little bit. That would be the lightning strike associated with that. And then that shelf cloud has moved away from the southeast side. Again, you can see the streaks of rain out ahead of it. If you look at the foreground of the camera, so it's currently raining right now in the Epic Universe area. Again, not fantastic for the attractions, right? Not a great afternoon as far as that goes. Catch a little jitter on the camera. That might be a lightning strike in the vicinity that we just can't see right now from this shot, but it's impacting a little bit of electricity around the area. That's a good camera to see some of that lightning in the distance as well, but clearly raining there at the Epic Universe area. Winter Garden, the storm has moved through a bit. There is still additional rain and storms behind it. It's not as impactful right now back into Lake County, and even a little bit in the way of at least not the darkest gray sky. And from Lake Buena Vista, still raining here. Now, the most potent part of that storm has moved through, but we're left with something that I think is going to be with the Metro Orlando area the next several hours, and that's overcast skies. That is at least light to moderate rain, and there's still going to be some rumbles of thunder. There's going to be some lightning from time to time. It's still going to be an issue for a while to come. As always, CFLW is sponsored by the Lien Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys, offering free consultation and policy reviews. They will walk you through that insurance claim process. You can scan the QR code to check out their website. It's lienonmelaw.com. So you get caught up in an insurance claim not going well. It's a big headache. Again, offering free consultation and policy reviews. Got nothing to lose. Want to support someone who supports the channel? Check them out by going to lienonmelaw.com if you guys would like more information. Okay, let's reset ourselves here. Nearly at 4:30. Do a couple things in the background here real quick. Jump back into the chat as well. As always, you got a question, let me know. Appreciate all of our members being in the chat. You'll see them in green. Appreciate our moderators in blue. Again, it can get busy when I'm on like this. If you got a question and I missed it, our moderators are happy to answer that question for you guys. They are prolific listeners and trusted sources. So their word is kind of my word. Again, thanks for the hearts in chat, guys. All right, Laura says, lightning and thunder in Deltona. Ooh, yep, I just had some good lightning. Knew that was coming quick. I'm sure you guys heard that on the microphone. That was close. But this is why we have to respect the storms these days, guys. You know, again, hadn't had a flash of lightning in my area for probably 10 minutes, and then got one probably a quarter mile from the house. XRP plumbing, I don't know. The question was, does lien law handle civil law? I can tell you this. Bobby Lee and the team, they're great people. Reach out to them. If you go to their website, there's a form you can fill out to be contacted. I'm sure he's happy to answer that question, again, without there being any, kind of, guarantee of service, if you will. I'm sure he's happy to answer that for you. Yeah, that was loud. Yeah, it says Winter Garden dropping the water tonnage. Well, thank you, D Diva. I appreciate that. You're not a dummy. I get that all the time. Folks are like, you look familiar from somewhere. So again, not a clean push of these storms, right? Meaning that, yes, there is one solid line coming through right now. But no, it is not coming through. Now, it looks like, checking something here, guys. All right, looks like just need to fix something here, guys. Got to get my computers talking to each other again. Bear with me for a second. You guys aren't seeing the latest on the computer. I can jump in the chat while I'm doing this. Got a twin brother that works at Costco. Boy, I wish I did. I'd be taking advantage of that, I can tell you that much. There we go. Okay. Abracadabra, alakazam. So that's storm in Winter Garden. Don says about 3/4 of an inch of rain according to the rain gauge. Appreciate that. All right. Apologize, guys. I'm just working back here to get my computers talking to each other again. Perhaps the lightning strike did a little something. Might have to do a full reboot on this. I feel like that's where I might be. So I'm going to not a big deal. I'm just going to redo that. That's why we have a lot of different things to show you guys, in case something like that happens. So basically, what you're seeing right now on the radar, it's frozen, but it'll be back up in just a second. These are live, and we can talk about the cameras while I get into the chat. Noble, I think I'm okay. I need to reset the bridge. I will let you know, though. Thank you. So Don says got about 3/4 of an inch of rain, according to the rain gauge. Thank you, Don, for that report. Cheryl, Palm Coast, thunder and getting dark. And Ed says it is coming down now in Winter Garden. And obviously our Winter Garden camera showing you that right now. Again, we had one good storm that already came through and a secondary one that is moving across the area right now. So yes, a lot of that activity marching on by for sure. And again, hopefully we're getting a lot of the lightning, a lot of the rain out of the area before sunset tonight. But the issue is, of course, wanting to be outside with all of this lightning. Got to respect the storms. Kevin, good afternoon to you. Hattie has some thunder in Lakeland right now as well. Checking out the Epic Cam one more time from southeast, the southeast, southern sides of the Metro Orlando area looking south and east. Every time I see southeast Sand Lake, I think we're like southeast somewhere, but it's the view of the camera because we also have another one near there that's looking south and west. So we get two different views from the Sand Lake area, which is really cool because one of them, the one that you're seeing right now, basically includes the Epic Universe area. Again, the new attraction from Universal. If you guys have been there, you can see the flashes there at the camera, the lightning continuing, some of that heavier rain as well. Okay. I'm almost done with my fiddling behind the scenes, guys, I promise. I'm still working on that. We'll check out the other Sand Lake camera. Again, a very common view right now in the southern sides of Metro Orlando. Just overcast, fair amount of lightning and thunder. going along for the ride with everything. So again, let these storms pass you by before you get back out. And we'll track them all together here in just a second, I promise, right? But the activity is likely to be something that lingers for the next couple of hours. So we got to watch out for those storms coming through. Now again, the farther east that you live, the better opportunity that these storms are likely to stick around for a longer period of time. So West Coast has already cleared for the most part. Could see an isolated storm redevelop, but likely not. And voila, we are back. Appreciate your patience. Okay. Good afternoon to you, Kevin. Hey, Richard, how are you? All right, again, if you're just tuning in, thank you for doing so on a holiday. I hope you're well. Storms, they're gnarly, right over Orlando as we speak. Altamont Springs, Winter Park, Orlando, Oak Ridge. They're not severe, at least at this point in time. We've had some special weather statements, but the biggest impact, friends, and the reason why I'm on for the most part is this being a holiday, I wanted you guys to understand the threat and the timing of these storms, because we all want to be out and about and enjoying this 4th of July. But these storms are crashing through the area right now. They're producing a tremendous amount of lightning, so we have to respect them as they pull through the area. Now, again, they're not going to be around forever today. This is probably their most widespread, most intense time. But that being said, it is area dependent. The farther west that you live, skies will clear out quicker and the rain will go away a little bit faster as well. If you live off towards the east, yes, there is an opportunity that some of this activity is going to stick around a little bit closer to sunset than other areas. Again, the lightning count is still quite prolific. We have over 500 lightning strikes within this view. We still have our special weather statement for interior sides of Volusia County. That is going to go until 4:45. Let me give you the update from the National Weather Service office out of Melbourne on this storm. Doppler radar tracking a strong thunderstorm near Barberville. Nearly stationary. That's the problem, right? Remember, this was an East Coast sea breeze storm, so these storms basically are merging right across I-4. If anyone lives in Deltona or Orange City, I would love to hear from you guys as to what you're seeing, because you are about to get thumped in two different directions. This area right here, Deltona, DeBerry, Orange City, it is going to get rowdy. 1792 I-4. These cells are coming right together right now. 50-mile-an-hour winds, pea-sized hail. DeLand, DeLeon Springs, DeLand Airport, West DeLand, and Glenwood. So this is our first area where we've seen a healthy East Coast sea breeze run into our line moving west to east, and lightning counts going up. Intensity is going up. For the first time, I'm picking up some hail markers within this as well. So 70% chance of hail at half-inch size. This one has 30% chance of hail less than half-inch. It's not big hail, but for the first time, we're starting to see some storms potentially producing some pea-size or slightly greater than pea-sized hail. And the special weather statement even mentions that quarter-inch size hail out of that. Sandra says rain from DeLand. You're welcome, Don. I hear you guys, and I appreciate you. Thank you for taking, again, a minute of your time on this holiday and joining me. I do appreciate that. Thanks for, thinking enough of the channel to tune in for you guys. If you're new to the channel, again, live-only channel where I'm only covering storms as they occur, impactful weather across Central Florida, be it our daily sea breeze storms, tropical storms, hurricanes, even winter weather. So again, have all notifications on, because you're not going to get inundated with notifications from me every day. I'm not on a daily basis. It's just when storms crop up and produce some impactful weather, I'll be on live. But again, we have a live network of cameras across Central Florida that is ever expanding, and we're happy to bring you some of that as well. And again, if you're getting anything out of the channel, appreciate you. Hit that like button. Clicking that subscribe button too also helps us out. All right. So that's the scenario right now. Still most concerned about some of the interior sections of Volusia County right now. We'll go to our quad box. You'll see Conway on the top left-hand side of your screen. You'll see Winter Garden. You'll see Lake Buena Vista. I am going to replace the Conway cam here with our Epic cam, or one of our Epic cams. There we go. Just a little bit more active weather for you guys. And that's the great thing about what I can do here. We can show you guys all different kinds of cameras in a variety of ways and keep you guys ahead of these storms. Power out in Deltona. So there you go. Okay. All right. Power out in Deltona. That's from DL. And again, that is an area where I do expect that Seabreeze merger is going to cause some problems. Get back in on that storm. De Leon Springs back down towards DeLand, Lake Helen, Orange City. The winds are sharpening up right now. Sanford, it's pretty nasty, even farther south now. This line has gotten a little bit better organized. Altamont Springs, Maitland, Winter Park, Goldenrod, towards the Baldwin Park area. Azalea. (180, 200 plus lightning strikes there. Back down towards MCO. So this is just going to rake across all of Metro Orlando. I mean, maybe south of the 417, it's a little bit lighter right now, but everyone else is in on it pretty heavily at this time. So I want to make sure our Conway cam, yeah. So I thought that maybe our Conway cam was not live, and I was right. That's a live look to the Conway cam, southeast side of downtown Orlando. You can see another healthy thunderstorm moving through there as well. It's a very common sight if you live in Orlando and you're tuning in. Again, please respect these storms. They are prolific lightning makers for today. Please let them move across your area before you get out and about. Again, this is not going to be an all-day thing. I do expect most of these storms to be in and out of our area before we get to our fireworks display hours. Now, obviously, this is impacting things right now. Not a lot of fun as far as that goes, but hopefully, again, an opportunity here that we will see a few of these storms get through fairly quickly, and then we'll be okay after that. But monitor the situation for you guys pretty closely here for the next couple of hours. But again, if you live in the Metro Orlando area, this is one of those scenarios today where we have to respect the storms coming through, get inside, let them pass, and then we'll be okay after that. Okay, so that's what our Conway cam is showing you guys. Beginning to improve in Lake Buena Vista, looking a little bit better in Sand Lake now. So now I'm going to do the exact opposite that I just did. Now that once I saw Conway's cam full there, I was like, okay, there's no way that that's live. We'll go back and bring it back up for you guys. Jared, thanks for the happy 4th wish. Hope everyone stays safe as well. Yep, enjoy yourselves, my friends. Let these storms roll by, and you can get back out. Again, for the most part, not expecting these to have big impacts for our fireworks displays, but up until sunset, they absolutely could. Resetting the scenario one more time. If you guys are just tuning in, appreciate you doing so first of all. Generally speaking, we're quieter in our western zones right now. Thunderstorms are developing across I-4 and moving off towards the east. Not expecting these storms today to be the most intense storms that we've ever seen, right? Could there be an isolated severe storm out of this? It's possible. We've had a lot of different special weather statements, mainly for the winds of up to 50 miles an hour and some 1/4 inch size hail. At this point in time, though, The biggest impact is just simply going to be the fact that these storms are coming through on the 4th of July afternoon, and they have got a ton of lightning associated with them. So from Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, here they come right now, down 75, and Daytona to Edgewater, to the DeLeon Springs area, and DeLand as well. Again, I'll zoom out a little bit here. But take a look at these cells coming through. Again, look off to your west, look inland, and you'll see them marching in. Bunnell included in that. Palm Coast, right on the edge, but you're going to get some rain as well. Some lightning up here. Not a ton, 17 lightning strikes, but when I go south, look at the lightning count pick up pretty quickly. Ormond Beach, Holly Hill, Seabreeze, Daytona Beach, Wilbur by the Sea, Port Orange, Ponce Inlet, all got to get smacked by this activity, again, working its way towards your area. Some of the rain has already hit the Ormond Beach area, and all this activity down to the south and west will be continuing to move through. Again, with this cell interacting with our West Coast sea breeze storms, you've had your first true put on the brakes activity today where this storm right now is not moving. Now they've let the special weather statement expire, okay? But remember, lightning is not a factor. It is not part of the equation for special weather statements and severe thunderstorm warnings. We've already had one report of some power out in DeLand, so these storms can be quite impactful. These storms can produce locally heavy rain, and if they're not moving quickly, these are the areas that could pick up a quick 2 to 4 inches of rain and lead to some localized flash flooding. Watch out for ponding on roadways, some flooding of low-lying areas, and hopefully nothing more than that. But we'll have to watch the scenario here in the interior sections of southern Volusia County for how this plays out over the next hour or two. Hopefully there'll be some movement with these storms or the storm will begin to dissipate. But right now, especially DeLand, Orange City, Deltona areas, even back to Sanford, some heavy rain really beginning to pick up there. Speaking of the Sanford area, storm moving across I-4 right now near Lake Monroe and the St. John's to Lake Mary. Really sharp line of rain and storms. Winter Springs, Altamont Springs. Let's bring on, first of all, our temperatures. So still 91 there. It's a rain-cooled 84 at the Executive Airport, 82 at MCO. And then the next factor is to take a look at the winds, okay? So still just a 20-mile-an-hour wind so far at the Sanford Airport, but they're far enough away. However, with the thunderstorm activity that's moving through Orlando right now, you've had nearly a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust with some fairly moderate rain back down towards MCO. Heavier storm over the Executive Airport in downtown Orlando has produced a 36-mile-an-hour wind. So if you do live in Metro Orlando, you should anticipate 40-mile-an-hour winds coming with this. Again, sometimes that can be as the gust front pushes through, you get the strongest winds out ahead of the heaviest rain, and then you get the heavy rain and lightning with more just breezy conditions than anything else. But this is a stout part of the line that is holding together very well. Let's track that. Northern side of this. I'll say at about 10. So if you do live in the east side of the Metro Orlando area, look back off to the west. Some of our cameras are showing you what's headed your way. Alafaya 513, UCF 514, the Oviedo area 516, University Park 523, Chuliota in at 546. Again, heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds coming along for the ride. Get indoors, let this storm pass you by with all the lightning, then you can get back out after it. Over 200 lightning strikes in this view in the past 15 minutes. On the southern flank of this, we'll take this in half on the southern flank. From the Baldwin Park area back down towards Conway and south. Again, still a little bit of a north than east push. Now you're back to some of the other areas that we've already mentioned, but you get a little bit farther south and east towards Avalon Park at 537. So clearly, if you live in the east side of Metro Orlando and you have not seen the storms yet, these are coming your way with the lightning produced by it. Now again, even in Winter Garden, if you look at the central part of your screen on the left-hand side, you can see still a lot of dark low bases, and that's just some moderate rain left over across Lake Apopka, Montverde, Claremont, on over towards Yahala. The special weather statement for the Leesburg area has also been allowed to expire. That storm, though, is still pretty nasty on the east side of the villages towards Lady Lake. Even in this tight view, we've had 214 lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes. And the opportunity for some hail near Lady Lake right now, 80% chance up to a half-inch size. Its court has some thunder in the land, or much rain, so much rain in the land. So that's, again, the problem here. We're going to have to watch out for some flood advisories and other things like that where these storms are beginning to merge. The Daytona Airport, Ormond Beach Airport, has now had a 35-mile-an-hour wind. Newport Richey, hey, Rusty, looks just fine. Would not expect much activity back along our west coast the remainder of the day. Generally speaking, everything's marching from west to east. Again, you can see that in the loop the last couple of hours. Best rain was earlier today along the west coast as far as your chances go. And now the west coast sea breeze with the prevailing winds have worked their way towards the east, and everything is marching that way. Now, there are a few storms that have come off of the east coast sea breeze, and those are the ones right now, like over the DeLand area, that are putting a brake on, that movement, right? That forward speed. So that's the problem with the storms there in Volusia County. Your Conway cam is now big on the picture here, showing you again the healthy thunderstorm along the I-4 corridor just off towards the east of the Metro Orlando area. Again, lightning counts are fairly prominent right now as well. That's the biggest issue. Look, we just don't want to be out in these storms right now. I know I keep repeating that over and over, but there were some lightning strikes yesterday in Florida, right? I think Fort Myers Beach. And I'd hate to see that here in Central Florida today. We just have to respect these storms and what they're producing right now. One silver lining is we're going to try and get these out of here before the fireworks. So at least we're not talking about, 7 o'clock collision of the sea breeze. We're talking about now, hopefully till about 7 or 8. Farther west you live, it clears earlier. East Coast could linger to a few storms a little bit deeper in the day. Storms are still fairly widespread. Western Indian River County, southeast Osceola. There's a few smattering of showers and storms. Osceola County, western sides of Brevard County, but not much east of I-95 at this point in time. There's the more clustered storms that have held together well from the MCO area, downtown Orlando, Winter Park, Altamont Springs, Lake Mary, Sanford. Really, you can clearly see now that there is no separation between those two cells. They have fully merged together, and I promise you this starts to become an issue for Deltona and Orange City because the storm's not moving quickly at all. And as you guys know, if you've tuned in, we can look at rainfall rates. So in the DeBary-Deltona area as we speak, anywhere you see those purples are rainfall rates over 3 inches. There we go. So DeBary right now, 3.8, probably close to 4 inches of rain per hour. Now, the problem with that is that the storm's stationary. So I always mention how it's likely an area is not going to see that full total because that's per hour, but the storm has some forward speed to it. Not in this case. It is not going to shock me if areas of Deltona and DeBary pick up 3 and 4 inches of rain in an hour. So problem here, got to watch out for the flood threat. Other significant areas of heavy rain west of Lake Mary, same situation, 4, 4.5. Winter Springs, 3, 3.5. Sanford, a pocket of rain there of 3+ inches, south of 46 over 4. And again, not a lot of storm movement with any of this activity. Heavy rain back to the villages in Leesburg as well. Again, 3 to 4 inches in some of those spots too. And the Weather Service has now issued another special weather statement. I always know that there's some interesting stuff going on in the chat when I look up and the first words that I see are Dog the Bounty Hunter. Just saying, I love it. But you always know something interesting is happening when you get Dog the Bounty Hunter as your first words that you catch on screen when you swing back over to the chat. I'll have to go back into that and see what's going on. Let me take us full screen again here so you can see this a little bit better. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in on this 4th of July. I hope you're doing well. So a new special weather statement for a pretty big area. Let's clear that off. So east at 6 with the special weather statement. 1/4 inch size hail, 50-mile-an-hour winds, Orlando, Deltona, Sanford, Altamont Springs, and Oviedo. That's the summary of the new special weather statement. This is the actual bulletin from Melbourne. Strong thunderstorm will impact Seminole, East Central Lake, Central Orange, and South Central Volusia through 5:45. Doppler radar tracking a strong thunderstorm over Castleberry, moving east at 5. Additional strong lightning storms developing across Seminole and adjacent portions of Orange County and Volusia counties due to boundary collisions, as we have mentioned. And the winds will be up to 50 miles an hour and some pea-sized hail. Again, down the road, we might have to watch out for some flooding in some of these areas too. And again, this special weather statement does go all the way back down to the 408. So if you live in the downtown Orlando area, technically you are under this special weather statement. I think it's a little bit worse north, far northeast side of Orange County. Portions of Volusia, like right in here, Sanford, Lake Mary, the 417 over Lake Jessup, Lake Monroe, St. John's, again, Deltona, maybe even some hail. Prolific rain, as it already has been mentioned. When I was looking earlier, there was no excessive rainfall outlook for our area. I'll double check that. Still no excessive rainfall outlook, so it's not going to be widespread. We are not technically under any risk for severe storms either for today. That would show up on the map if you see it right now. That's just your general thunderstorm risk. Winds are quite gusty right now from time to time. The areas in blue showing you where the most prominent widespread gusts are. Here are the actual numbers of the gusts. So a 38 in Orlando at MCO is the strongest. And we'll check any local storm reports real quick too. Don't see any. Wouldn't expect any, but we'll always check. Hey Kim, how you doing? David, indeed, some big storms today. What do you guys say we wish Kim's mom a very happy birthday? Happy birthday to Kim's mom. That's a great day to have a birthday, by the way. 4th of July, and it's the 250th birthday of America. I don't think you could lose on that one for Kim's mom. You know, sometimes we don't like to have birthdays on holidays. This is kind of a slam dunk if you ask me. Hey, you're welcome, Eagle. Eagle says, thank you for starting this channel. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching on this holiday. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking this live stream. Both of those things, liking and subscribing, help the viewership of the channel more than you guys think. Appreciate both of those things. Thank you to our members as well. Memberships are open. If you are a member, you get access to exclusive member short videos. From time to time in between these live streams, I send out small short video clips, my behind the scenes thoughts, when I think the next active weather pattern might be, when I might next be on, what's the threats, what am I looking out for. So you can check out the channel in that way if you'd like to become a member. Super chat, super thanks are always open. Those get priority if you have questions. And if you throw out a super chat and a super thanks our way, we'll put that on screen for you guys as well. Little shout out. David says he's in Daytona and it's getting closer. Again, live look to Winter Garden. Still some rumbles of thunder in the distance here. But relatively speaking, things have quieted down a bit. It's the same situation down in Sand Lake. It's good to see that the attractions area, that far south, some of the intensity of the storms has fizzled a bit. Still got to be cautious of some lightning in the area. But for the most part, it's trying to work its way from the I-Drive corridor to the east. You can see the same situation there. We're looking back south and west. Again, 4 fireworks displays. Another part of this is that there may not be a lot of clearing. There may not be a lot of clearing over the next couple of hours. So we have to watch out, right? We have to watch out for what might be developing as far as cloud coverage over the next 2 or 3 hours, right? We'll have to see how well skies can clear in Orlando. Now, you live out west, you live in Tampa, St. Pete, Bradenton, Sarasota, Newport Richey, up to Crystal River. I would anticipate you guys to have clearer skies than interior sections off towards the east. So despite the fact we might be done with some rain in Orlando, maybe in the next hour or so, we might have some stubborn cloud coverage linger for a while. Still got some rain falling right now in Conway. You can see the southern extent of that special weather statement storm. Central left-hand side of your screen. You notice the sky is a little bit brighter on the right-hand side. This camera is looking in a general east direction. So it's a little bit drier south and east from this camera, where the southern extent of the special weather statement storm can be picked up, but the rain is still falling in Conway at the hour, and there is still a lot of lightning. I know that doesn't look like it's the worst, but I promise you that lightning is still a big factor in this spot. And it's overcast in Lake Buena Vista. But again, for the most part, the rain has gone by the wayside fairly well. Okay, live look outside again, Lake Buena Vista, Winter Garden, Conway. Good to see you guys. A lot of lightning with this storm right now. 800 lightning strikes. Let's get in on some of the areas of action. Deltona, Sanford, Lake Mary. Keeping an eye out for any flood advisors. I haven't seen any yet. I'll let you guys know if there is. Castleberry, Oviedo, Altamont Springs, Goldenrod, Winter Park, University Park, Baldwin Park. You know I'm going to have to say it. Union Park, Avalon Park, all the parks. 300 lightning strikes in this view in the last 15 minutes. Scattered storms south and east. Again, the East Coast sea breeze is marching inland, so it's likely to meet up with some of this activity. This is what has happened here first today. The west march of the storms has been slowed up by the East Coast sea breeze, and now these storms are just clustered up through the northeast side of Orlando, Orange County, central and western sides of Seminole County, and southwest sides of Volusia County, and they're not moving quickly. So now it's about the rainfall rates too. If anyone lives in Deltona or DeBary, please let me know. Sanford as well, back into it. Very heavy rainfall rates occurring right now. This special weather statement, if you notice, it's in effect for a long time because the Weather Service knows that this storm is not moving very quickly, if it's moving any at all. So it is in effect all the way until 5:45. And again, some spots could get a quick 2 to 4 inches of rain. Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that link that Amy's got for you out there, I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you very much. Everyone else doing good? What plans do we got for today? Once these storms are out of here, what do you guys got going? Let me know. We've got the very traditional situation here where there's some neighborhood people who like to set off fireworks, and so we don't really have to go anywhere. We can sit and watch the fireworks from our backyard. We've got the small things for the kids, let them have a little bit of fun. But it's the same situation for us, you know. If you just tuned in, I told my family earlier, I said, look, we can grill out at noon or we can grill out at 8 o'clock tonight. It's completely up to you guys. And obviously they wanted to grill out early, so we did the quick early lunchtime grilling, knowing that these storms would be coming through. If you didn't get the grilling done, if you guys are waiting for that, again, let this activity get out of your area before you try and commence that. Things are improving in the western side of Orange County and in Lake County, but it's not completely said and done yet. I mean, you look back here towards Leesburg and Fruitland Park and now towards Coleman and Lake Pan and Lady Lake, and you still have some storms here producing some decent lightning. So just be very weather aware. We always say it, but it really makes sense. When thunder roars, you head indoors. It's just a simple phrase to remember. You don't want to be playing around. The lightning, again, is so prolific right now with this thunderstorm, guys. 400 to 500 lightning strikes, now over 600 lightning strikes on the south side of this. And then you get up towards Deltona and DeBary, and it's, 650, 700. The view of American life at ABC has been fantastic all day. That's great to hear. All activity southwest for the time being. Should be a great night for fireworks. Yeah, Blue Goose, I hope it is, my friend. If you're not going to catch some of this rain, to help things out, help out the water table, I hope you get a clear sky and you get some fantastic firework viewing. That would be nice. Hopefully all of us do, but some of us are going to have a little bit more active weather between now and then, for sure. Up in coastal Volusia County, still concerned about what is moving through now and what is likely to come through later. There are some lightning strikes right now out of the activity over Daytona Beach. Not a ton. If I zoom in, I've got 2 lightning strikes. One is one too many to be on the beach at this point in time, to be that exposed. But keep that in mind as well. A little bit heavier cell towards South Daytona and Port Orange along 5A and 483. This is going to move right into A1A, right to places like Wilbur by the Sea and Ponce Inlet as well. New Smyrna will be under the gun. Same thing for Edgewater too. Eventually down the road, southern Volusia County, including Oak Hill, if these storms push back east, could be under the same scenario. If you live in the southern side of Metro Orlando, there's still like Oviedo, Chuliota, UCF. That's a pretty intense part of the cell right there. My system's pinging some hail just west of Chuliota, maybe even some larger hail. Likely ingested with some heavy rain, which is overdoing the actual total and the size that is, but still, it's an intense part of that cell. Take a look at that as well. as far as potential hail size. So anywhere that you see these colors is a little bit of hail potential here, right? And it's within that special weather statement. I think that's the reason why we got the special weather statement. It's for the opportunity for some hail from Sanford back down to UCF. Again, may not be extremely large in size. And I am pinging basically over Lake Jessup like 0.7. That would be the highest. Probably more like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch size, but Sanford included in this. I will. Again, I'm not too concerned about rotation with these storms, guys. The sea breeze collision could cause some broad rotation, but I'll look at it. Right now, I think the most widespread impact is the hail and the lightning. Potentially some pockets of more than 1/2 inch size hail. Sanford, down the 417, Lake Jessup, Oviedo area. More than likely, generally pea-sized hail, but pockets of potentially larger hail than that. Maybe some smaller size hail in northern Sumter County as well. And some hail out here by itself for eastern Osceola County. Conway has some heavy rain but no hail. Yeah, I mean, luckily we got that great camera there so we can keep an eye on it too. Appreciate the report. Again, leading edge, really solid, strong winds here out of Sanford. So likely the airport is seeing some tremendous winds right now. See if it's even reporting. Yeah, okay, it is. No gust. Oh, here we go. I got to zoom in quick. 46. So this is what I was seeing here, right? You can clearly see on my radar that I'm picking up 48-mile-an-hour winds to 50 plus, and there's your 46 at the airport. And that report was at 5:07. So 7 minutes ago, the Sanford Airport had a 46-mile-an-hour wind. Pretty much my radar system absolutely verifying that right now. Still looks to me to be very straight line. There's a little bit of congestion garbled up. There's potentially a little bit of rotation here, but look at the speeds here. So the problem is that you have some really strong winds here. You have some weak outbound winds here, but then you have this congested area in the middle. To me, it still doesn't look too prominent. It's not nothing though. The other thing I can do is we can look at a TMCO too. So guys, I'm just looking at a part of the storm that has a lot of wind, just making sure that nothing's trying to wrap up. I will say this: Oviedo, East Sanford, Chuliota, east on 46. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that takes you to Samsula or not? Is that north? These areas need to get prepared for some really strong winds, if nothing else. Again, there's decent inbound and outbound winds, but there's not a tight couplet either. Then you have this other area too, back here. This is going to be some SLCs. These are going to be some scary looking clouds. If anyone lives in this area, let me know in the comments section below too. So just take a look at a couple of areas of interest here. Again, I'm always going to do this if there's something that either concerns me or something that I want to monitor very closely. You're looking at what's called the velocity product. This is the winds that the radar can pick up. What I'm looking for is rotation in the atmosphere. So red is going away from the radar site. Green winds are going towards. When there are bright reds next to bright greens, that means there's what we call a couplet or rotation of the winds in a very localized area that needs monitoring. There are some areas certainly of disturbed wind here. There's probably some very broad rotation within this. I haven't seen anything too tight. The only thing that I am seeing though is that there are some outbound and inbound winds that are on the stronger side. So this is what happens, and I mentioned this earlier, and you can go back if you ever want to clip a part of me talking, is that when our sea breezes merge, you do get some erratic motion to the storms and to the wind fields. And it can produce some very scary looking areas of low level rotation, or they can tighten up a bit as well. I'm going to switch back over to the Melbourne radar for now. Okay, so they went severe on that storm. They just went severe. So that storm is ramping up. We've been watching it for you guys. I'm going to take it full. We're getting into a little bit more of some impactful weather here. So this part of the cell that we have been watching and interrogating, they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? So severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, right? That's the rotation that we were looking at. Radar indicated hail threat, 3/4 inch, Sanford, Oviedo, Winter Springs, Geneva, Lake Jessup, the areas that I've been mentioning here. So this is a storm that we have to monitor very, very closely. The severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for East Seminole and South Central Volusia County until 6 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm located over Lake Jessup, moving east at 5. 60s and pennies, okay? Sanford, Oviedo, Winter Springs, Geneva, Lake Jessup. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement in a small central room or sturdy structure. So this is the area that I was just looking at, and the Weather Service is as well. And there is some stronger winds with this, and there's certainly some at least broad rotation. So this is a storm that we're going to have to focus in on very carefully. Again, if you are just tuning in, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Volusia County. With a potential tornado possible in this area. Now again, there's not a tornado warning. There's not even radar indicated tornado, but there's a lot of wind being produced out of this that I'm going to keep a really close eye on. So we are going to be focused in on this storm. You can see even from the Melbourne radar right here, right on 46, we've got some reds and greens pretty close to each other. The brighter greens are going to be strong straight line winds. Secondary, little area north of 46, just east of Sanford, and the 415, so east of places like Osteen and Lake Ashby Shores. Now this is moving into a little bit more rural areas. That's good news. But still, that's quite a lot of wind being produced out of this cell right now. All that green that you see, again, querying this. So some winds of well over 50 miles an hour. There's not as much, at least from the Melbourne radar, of the stronger outbound winds, but there's still a bit of rotation here in this area. Again, if you're just tuning in, significant, impactful storms developing now that the east and the west coast sea breezes have merged. We watched these storms move from west to east the last couple of hours. The east coast sea breeze is inland, and now all those storms that were marching west have collided with the east coast sea breeze, and storms are slowing down. They're producing heavier rainfall. They're producing tremendous amounts of lightning. They're producing a little bit of rotation in the air. They're producing winds of over 60 miles an hour and torrential rainfall because they're not moving very quickly. So all of our threats have gone up a notch in the last half hour in the areas that are seeing the storms. And that's mainly I-4, slightly off towards the east. Most prolific storm is in Volusia County right now, where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, tornado possible with some rotation, and that's directly from the National Weather Service. So I have to keep an eye out for some rotation within that cell. If you guys live in this area, let me know in the comments section below. We have some 3/4 inch size hail that gets to the damaging teetering spot, right? So some penny. If you get to nickel size hail, 0.88 inches, that's likely some damage to rooftops, to shingles, to your cars. Storms are beginning to line up south and east of there. So a new special weather statement, and it's a big one that goes until 6 o'clock. Look, these storms in general, you might see some motion here. They're not really going anywhere in the short term. Their main threats are 50-mile-an-hour winds, but some locations go from Oviedo all the way down to Titusville in south and east. Wedgefield included in that. This is the actual bulletin on this special weather statement. As soon as it lets me clear off the summary. See if this thing will cooperate here. There we go. All right, strong thunderstorm impacting southeast Seminole, western Brevard, southeast Orange, northeast Osceola counties. Seminole, Brevard, Orange, Osceola, 4 different counties within parts of this special weather statement. Doppler radar tracking a strong thunderstorm along a line from Wedgefield to near Lone Cabbage Fish Camp to 6 miles west of Camp Holly Fish Camp. Movement was north at 10. So kind of developing north, but these cells are all just still merging together and eventually will slowly push back off towards the east. Now, they may not move with such emphasis, and they might rain themselves out a bit before they get back off towards the east, but there is that opportunity. I'm going to go back over to the terminal radar out of MCO because I want to look at the velocity again with this severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to take off for right now, just the special weather statements. Again, 46-mile-an-hour wind at the airport in Sanford. That was at 5:07. So here now, and this is the clearest view, here now along 46 and south, it's basically all straight line wind. There's a little bit of garbled wind on the south flank of this, But you notice that these greens are pretty light in nature. The incoming winds are not very strong. The outbound winds are still quite prolific, producing what we saw here, the 45 to maybe 50 mile an hour winds. There's another batch a little bit farther south. And I apologize for something the zooming. My system's a little laggy. So as I'm zooming in sometimes, I don't see exactly where I'm going. But a little bit down here, a little bit here. But compared to the last time we looked at the TMCO velocity, this is a little bit better presentation as far as, potential tornadic activity. I don't think it's as prominent as what it was the last couple of scans. I like the more straight line wind here. This is a little concerning right here. But again, the winds are not as strong in this part east of Chuliota. You've got some extremely strong winds over the Bithlo area right now, but these are all straight line. These are all going east, 35 to 40 plus. Probably some hail associated with that as well. You can see the icon there, the triangle icon. So big wind producer, which is why we have the severe thunderstorm warning. But it does look like most of this is outflow dominated. Not concerned about any other areas right now for any tornadic activity. Even here, I like the trend of what the radar is showing. Now look, this is the first statement from the National Weather Service where they indicated a tornado is possible in this area. So we have to treat this storm with a lot of respect right now. Again, this is the summary of this severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6 o'clock. Slow east movement at 6. Again, tornado possible, not right now, meaning that during the duration of this severe thunderstorm warning, conditions are possible for a tornado. Hail threat, radar indicated up to 3/4 of an inch. And all that means is that they haven't had any ground truth reports yet, but the radar is showing the potential for up to 3/4 inch size hail. Max winds of 60, Sanford, Oviedo, Winter Springs, Geneva, Lake Jessup, all included within this severe thunderstorm warning, which goes until the top of the hour. All right, I'm going to go back over. First of all, bring up our reflectivity. Again, this is from the terminal Doppler in Orlando, so it's meant for the airport. I have access to it. It's not a very broad radar, 50, 60 miles for the most part. It's basically just for the storms around the airport, but if we're talking about storms in Orlando, it's not a bad one to look at. The Melbourne radar from the National Weather Service office, we'll go back to that one. Again, I have access to all the different radars across the network, the NextRad platform. And I'm going to bring back on the special weather statements. I had just removed some of the layers so I could get a real close eye on that storm. But you have additional special weather statements that bracket this severe thunderstorm warning. So for a larger area of Volusia County, portions of Seminole County, special weather statement until 5:45. Orlando's had a 40 mile an hour wind at MCO. This special weather statement here, and again, this cell basically moving north. All right, could get back into Avalon Park, University Park, and Alafaya if it holds together. These are areas that are kind of already seeing the rain, but these individual cells, as they move north, that's where they could be headed. Again, it's a little bit harder to track this because these cells are erratic movers right now as our sea breezes are merging. So storm motion has really come to a halt. So the other thing to watch out for is the opportunity for some flood advisories. within this area. No flood advisories as of yet. If we ever get a flash flood warning, that would appear right on my screen. Now I'm starting to hear some of the other booms of the day as storms are trying to clear Orlando. Now folks are going to get back out. Again, let me be clear about this, right? Wherever you're tuning in, it's kind of in a few different sections. West, for the most part, is going to be just fine. Again, I can't rule out a couple of isolated showers redeveloping just like they are right now. Mainly 75 east, a few over 41, very unlikely for the most part across 19 in our true coastal areas. Crystal River, Holiday, Clearwater, St. Pete, Bradenton, Sarasota. Generally speaking, you guys are fine the rest of the day. Interior sections west of I-4, isolated showers and storms to continue for the next hour or two. Most of that activity fading before sunset. Now again, could there still be some leftover overcast skies, right? And that will still be potentially impactful as far as visibility for fireworks. That is still a possibility, right? Can't guarantee you full clearing between now and sunset from Orlando off towards the west. But where the storms are likely to hold on the longest is exactly where they're occurring right now. That's I-4 east and then back towards I-95 over the 6 and 7 o'clock hour, because these storms aren't moving very quickly right now, but eventually they should pick up some forward speed and work their way back to I-95. Now they can try and rain themselves out as they do, and they may not be as strong along the coast for Daytona Beach and New Smyrna and the Melbourne, Palm Bay areas as what we're seeing in interior sections now. But if there were to be some storms that do linger past sunset tonight, it is likely to be along the immediate East Coast. Again, it'll be area dependent as to how that's going to impact any fireworks displays. I hope it's not going to, but these have been extremely prolific lightning producers all day long. It's been a big story. They've gotten more intense as the sea breezes have truly collided. And so now we're talking about, again, some real impacts with these storms, including winds of over 60 miles an hour, some hail, the frequent lightning. Again, we've had the one severe thunderstorm warning where even the Weather Service said, look, a tornado is possible based on some of the mechanics we're seeing from this storm. It's not imminent and one hasn't developed, but throughout the lifetime of this severe thunderstorm warning, which goes until 6 p.m., it is something we're going to have to monitor here for portions of Volusia County. It's Volusia and East Seminole, but for the most part, the storm is kind of getting out of Seminole County. So again, there are the severe thunderstorm warning does include the eastern side of Seminole County as well. So I want to be clear about that. Okay, so DO has an update on the Deltona powder outage. FPL issued a statement that the cause was a small animal touched the power line. Well, that's no fun. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the update, DL. It's never a fun situation, especially on a holiday like this when you have a creature and storms and then you get a power outage. If nothing else, hopefully you guys are a little bit rain cooled right now, and at least it's not a 95-degree afternoon if you do have that. All right, again, hope everyone's doing well. Good to see you on this 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. 250. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, on live right now, we have a cluster of strong and severe storms moving through Central Florida as we speak. Thanks for taking part of your holiday and joining me here on the CFLW Live YouTube channel, sponsored by the leading law firm of Central Florida. You can see their website on your screen. If you're interested in sponsoring the channel, you like this content, you want to be a part of what we're doing as we continue to grow, scan that QR code. It'll take you to our email address. You can type it in right there. You can always reach out, mymediamundo@gmail.com. And again, if you want to sponsor part of the channel or one of our cameras, we can chat about that as our camera network continues to grow here on the channel as well. Speaking of that, I think it's a great time to move through some of our cameras as we monitor that severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern side of Seminole County and portions of Volusia County until 6 o'clock. Again, severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect for Volusia County. Live look outside in the Sand Lake area. We're looking to the south and to the west. You can see again from this slightly western shot that there is a little bit of clearing right now, but there's a lot in the way of some overcast conditions across the area right now. So got to monitor the situation here over the next hour or two for additional showers and a few storms and the redevelopment of some activity that can't be, ruled out. But if anything else, how much do we really clear between now and the sunset hour? When we look to the south and to the east, you might actually see a little bit of blue sky here from the Sand Lake area. And again, hopefully breaking apart these clouds a bit, if anything else. We'll just have to see how long the clouds will hang together, but some overcast and a little bit of rain not out of the question here for a time as we move through the remainder of the 5 o'clock hour and into the 6 o'clock hour for you guys as well. Let's swing on over to our winter garden camera. Still some light rain falling right now in winter garden, but a little bit of blue sky, or at least a little bit of clearing to the west. Again, this camera is looking off towards the west. Overcast skies in Lake Buena Vista right now, but trying to clear a bit. So we can actually see that severe thunderstorm from Conway pretty clearly. Again, skies have cleared a bit in Conway. The rain has moved out for the most part. But on the left-hand side of your screen, that is the severe thunderstorm right now that is moving through portions of Seminole and Volusia counties. It's moving away, but you can clearly see the dark nature to that storm. And again, if you're in that, severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6 o'clock. Hey, Julie Lynn, how are you? New sub here, still rocking in the villages, any more on the way? So I believe that for the villages, you're likely to see the last gasp right now. The storm is basically sitting over you. I don't expect there to be much more to develop or to move through, but you gotta sit and be patient and let this kind of just rain itself out, because that's what's happening right now in a lot of this area. The villages, Wildwood, Coleman, Lake Pan, even a little bit of lightning towards Floral City and Inverness. This just has to fade away, and it could take stubbornly long for that to be the case, but I don't expect another big crop of storms to develop this far west and work its way into the area. But it might take a while for the activity that's over your head to fully dissipate. And again, when thunder roars, you head indoors. It is a good rule of thumb to at least let 20 minutes, if not even 30 minutes, since the last rumble of thunder, on the old timer before you get back out. That would be my recommendation. But again, give it a little bit more time. You should be pretty good. Where I do expect the activity to continue to develop and get stronger is along and east of I-4. You can clearly see that now all of this activity has really picked up as far as coverage. Everything has merged together now, and the lightning count has shot up significantly. So within this view, we're over 800 lightning strikes in 15 minutes. It's a ton of lightning, heavy rainfall. Again, got to watch out for some flood advisories. Nothing as of yet, but we looked at rainfall rates that were 3 and 4 inches an hour in these spots, with the severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6 o'clock. This line is picking up in intensity. Wedgefield across the beach line, across 50 East. through some of the more rural areas of southeast Orange and northeast Osceola County, then back down towards 192 in the Holopal area. And these storms are going to stop and then slowly try and build their way back east. They're not too far away right now from the I-95 corridor of portions of Brevard County, like Port St. John's, Sharps, Cocoa, and Rockledge. Again, special weather statement here for winds of 50 and some quarter-inch size hail. Let's check out local storm reports. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Nothing right now. We are live. Yes. Okay. Just making sure. Again, just a general risk of severe storms. Checking out a couple of different products here with you guys live. I don't think they've put us under any excessive rain. I think anything that flood-wise is going to be not too widespread. It's going to be very localized. So when it's localized like this, they're not going to issue an excessive rainfall outlook for our area. Again, the biggest impact right now is that there is a severe thunderstorm in effect for portions of East Seminole and a little bit more for Volusia County at the hour. This storm is slowly working its way off towards the east. That severe thunderstorm warning will go until 6 p.m. 3/4-inch size hail, so penny-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, Sanford, Oviedo, Winter Springs, Geneva, Lake Jessup could all be included in that. You're welcome, Julie Lynn. Are we supposed to have better rain chance on Monday? I still think the storm chance is going to be high for the next several days. I think we are in store for likely good rain chances again tomorrow. Oh, sorry, it says Brevard County, guys. I think we're likely to see good storm chances for tomorrow and on Monday before we slowly begin to clear out. But we're going to have some active sea breezes the next couple of days. I mean, obviously today, this is a big weather day because it's the 4th of July. Tomorrow will be another big day because it's another, weekend day, another day as part of our holiday weekend. And Monday, the storms will probably be just as widespread. But generally speaking, overall, storm chances are likely to be quite high for the coming days. Through Monday, slightly lower than that as we get into portions of early next week. I do expect rain chances to tail off a bit. Remember, again, we are still under a significant drought. We could use all of this rain. It's not a great day to do it because a lot of folks are outside and want to be outside, and the storm intensity has really ramped up a bit as well. But we're still in need of additional heavier rain. All right. So now the Weather Service has extended the special weather statement to begin to include the coast. And this is the start of the east push again of these storms. So the East Coast sea breeze met the storms out west. They merged. They slowed down. They produced our strongest winds of the day. They produced the heaviest rainfall in localized spots. They produced a severe thunderstorm warning, erratic motion to the storms, if not just outright not moving. Now the storms will begin to again march back off towards the east. So these will be the areas that as we move through the 6 o'clock hour are likely to still get hit with storms, as conditions in a general sense are likely to continue to improve across I-4 and west. There will still be isolated areas of rain and even some lightning. That should overall fade the deeper into this late afternoon and early evening towards sunset that we go. But again, the one thing that I can't guarantee is that skies are going to be clearing. So we might be left with, through most of Central Florida, relatively overcast skies to kick off the fireworks displays. Zigzag, who's trying to do yard work today? I say that was good for Mother Nature. Get out and enjoy our 250th. There'll always be another day for yard work. Raymond, I appreciate the update. Rain has pretty much fizzled there in the Leesburg area. Look, it doesn't have to be about all the intense weather. I appreciate all comments letting me know things are improving in your area. That's great knowledge as well. So again, thanks for those who are active in the chat. Really helps me out and helps everyone who's watching out, right? The more, ground truth, wisdom of the crowd information that we get, it's going to help out this channel. It's going to help out your understanding of what's happening. Same thing for me as well. And that's the great part about this channel. It is live, it is interactive. We can speak in real time. I've got the chat up right here next to me, looking at your comments. Happy to answer as many of them as I possibly can. If one slips through because I'm busy, we have moderators on the chat, and they are happy to be my voice and answer those questions for you guys as well. A nice trend, as I was speaking, that I like to see is that the Weather Service allowed the severe thunderstorm warning to expire early. So it was supposed to be in effect until 6 p.m., but now the winds are coming back down. Remember, the last time we looked at velocity here, didn't see as much of a strong wind profile, certainly didn't see as much of rotation as when they initially issued the severe thunderstorm warning. From the Melbourne radar site, it's great to see that these colors are all one, they're all green. Again, we don't want to see reds and greens next to each other. That's indicative of rotation. Now, don't get me wrong. Those are some damaging winds there. 47-mile-an-hour wind at the Sanford Airport. That is up 1 mile an hour. So let's check exactly when that was, because the last report was 5:07. This one's going to be 5:28. So they had some gnarly winds in the early 5 o'clock hour at the Sanford Airport. Consistent, if you will, probably gusts over 40 with some peak gusts in that 46, 47. And now all of this wind energy is marching off towards the east. So good to see that whatever potential tornadic threat was with our severe thunderstorm warning has ended. Strong winds up the coast too. Look, Daytona Beach 29, Ormond Beach 35. So even some non-thunderstorm wind gusts, which are approaching 30 to 35. Remember, sometimes the strongest winds within this will be with the gust front that pushes out that billow of cooler air right before